Welcome to Order of the Squirrels, a podcast hosted by two friends in perimenopause. We tackle life, ADHD, and everything in between. I'm Kim Ratliff, an artist trying to turn my chaos into creativity.
And I'm Rhea Yap, a nurse who spends my days taking care of others and my nights wondering where my focus went. Together, we laugh, learn, and occasionally forget what we're talking about. This is Midlife with ADHD, unfiltered, unmedicated, and sometimes totally relatable.
Hi, I'm Rhea.
And I'm Kim.
And we are the Order of the
Squirrels.
In this episode, we're going to talk about
ADHD and Asian Americans.
This is like our tea-free.
I know. ADHD at its finest, folks, in production, where we deleted the first episode on accident, and then
the second one didn't record.
Yeah, we lost internet, and then so this third time's a charm.
So we're a little frazzle-dazzle. Third time's a charm.
Okay.
Today we're going to explore the topic of ADHD and how it affects many of Asian American households in America.
Which includes us.
Yeah.
We're first generation Asian Americans.
First generation. My mom and dad are from the Philippines.
And my mom's 100% Korean, and my dad's American. Yeah. Cajun, Ollie, however you want to call it.
But growing up, how was that for you? Growing up and not really knowing what was going on with you?
I think in a nutshell, it was like clash of the cultures.
Cultures of meaning that you grew up in Rhode Island, or you had...
Yeah, it's complicated. Is that there's where I was one of two Asian American kids in my whole school, probably the whole town.
Did they get you too mixed up?
No. Jen was always shorter. She was like super cute. Yeah, she was shorter. I was taller. She was Japanese. I was Korean. You know, the older kids would tease us, and I'd be like, get it straight. Jennifer is Japanese, and I was just very adamant about stuff like that. But no, it was a clash of culture with that, growing up in that, but that's all I knew. So it was easy for me to like read the culture, but like how people viewed me was, I'd have to deal with that. And it wasn't a lot. I literally could count like less than a handful of bullies.
Okay.
And it only happened like early on, like actually it was like only like a couple of bullies. Yeah, that was it.
Oh yeah.
And it was like an elementary school.
Oh.
So
yeah.
And then after that it was fine. And then we had like an adopted Asian girl to our mix.
Oh.
Once I got to middle school, there was another one. And I think she was from Korea too. And then that was like, there was this one guy in high school. He was half Hawaiian, actually. His mom was a real estate agent. Yeah. I still keep in touch with him and his wife. We all went to high school together. But like you couldn't really tell, because when you're mixed, it's like
yeah.
But yeah, culture. Even for my mom,
what were her expectations?
She had a different growing up and Korean culture and a lot of family struggles, and then in America, then she's trying to raise a child that she's the youngest, so she's never seen it done.
Oh.
She had never seen anyone getting like pregnant, or they never talked about it or anything. So here she is in another country, learning a new language, learning how to drive, like learning to get a job, getting her citizenship, being a mom, like all within like the first like 3 or 4 years, that's a lot.
That's a lot.
It's a lot. And then when you get a kid that comes out that's ADHD, and it takes you 3 days for both parents to like get you to go to school in kindergarten and stay there all half the day.
Because you cried.
Oh my God, sobbing. Like it was a full-on panic attack. It would take a couple hours, and then I'd sleep the whole afternoon. Like I'd be exhausted. Like you couldn't talk like that. It was horrible. My parents must have been like what the hell is happening? What is this?
Yeah.
Why,
And there was no one to compare you two?
No.
Because you were the eldest.
No. And I was an only child for like the first 9 years of my life. So
they never really.
I was the experimental child.
Yeah.
For sure.
I was the opposite.
I tell James he's my experiment.
All our oldest are, aren't they?
Right?
Yeah, I was the youngest, so there were a lot of kids to compare.
Well, and you grew up here in Hawaii too.
Yeah, which is another, because you're like one out of like the entire class of Asians,
like if there's a
Pacific Islanders.
Yeah,
so
the opposite. Really, like you might have had like one white kid in your school.
Yeah, and that was so.
Was it like
different.
that?
Yeah, because we lived primarily, southwest Oahu, but there were like military bases, which were Bars Point, and then you have Iroquois Point. So you have the Caucasian kids that come from those areas.
But they were only there for like 2 years,
like 2 years,
and then they
go.
Yeah.
They would.
So, I mean, did you guys have an ad? Well, we're getting sidetracked, but just as a side note, like, did you guys not want to make friends with them because you knew that they were leaving?
No, we made friends.
Oh, okay. Well, that's nice. That's nice to know.
Yeah, and for me, with the squirrels, I just never really kept.
Because some towns are like that.
Yeah, sometimes. Yeah,
some places are like that, and
right.
That's too bad. But anyway, all right. We digress.
But yeah, growing up, I never, my parents, and coming from the Philippines, my parents both stressed education as something really important. My mom was a teacher back in the Philippines, and they always stressed, going to school, finishing school, going to college, and having expectations of doing so.
We had the same thing.
Yeah. But
from my mom, but like no one in my family had gone to college. Like even for her family, it was like only the boys. Because that's how it was. And then for my dad's family, they all just did military, and I was the only girl.
Yeah.
So it was like...
It's hard.
But I was also spoiled.
Yeah, well, the girls in our family, we were kind of repressed because the boys could do whatever the hell that they wanted to do.
That's how my mom's life was.
We weren't really allowed to express ourselves growing up. I remember that. We weren't allowed to go out.
I would express myself and tell my whole life story to brand new people. And my mom would be like, why can't you tell them everything? Stop telling everybody everything.
He's so open. Yeah, and expression was like something that you did at school when they weren't there, and sometimes it just kind of went in over and express and get into trouble because my mouth would just run. And I got into in 6th grade, I got into like a fight with this huge girl.
What?
She flunked a grade 2. I was scared. I was scared shitless.
Was she full on tita?
Oh yeah,
like a kid tita.
A kid tita. It probably happened.
Look it up, folks.
A dodgeball game or something. But anyway, I was mouthy, she was mouthy, and then somehow it turned into like, okay, we're meeting up after school, let's do this.
Oh,
I was scared.
Oh my God, my eyes are big. Holy crap.
Yeah, I got suspended.
But because of your mouth.
Yeah, there was no full contact with the fist. It was just more of a shove match. But
wow.
But you know what? Yeah, that got me, my mouth kind of got me into places where I shouldn't have been.
I wasn't mouthy like that.
Yeah, it's... Yeah, kind of.
That's more like on the comedy side of weird comments.
Weird comments?
Yeah, I don't know. No, we used to make up our own games and stuff because it was the 70s. Like, there's no kids around. I mean, there's kids around, but like, you just have all this freedom and you drink it from the hose because your mom said you can't come in for the next 5 hours while I clean the house. Stuff like that. So you just like... Your mind is just
my mind was even growing up, like my mom trying to teach me math was the worst.
Oh my God.
I could not.
It was excruciating. My dad and I would be sitting at the table, dining room table.
It's exhausting.
And I could tell that man has got patience of steel, but like no go, even college as a graphic design major. You got to take the one math class, and it's college math, and it's got like gambling statistics, algebra, geometry, and one other thing. And I'm just like, so I said
stats 3 times.
It's the algebra thing. Well, anyway, it didn't really matter what part of it because I got a D. And it was a summer class because I figured, all right, I'll take a summer class of it by itself so I can totally focus on it.
I did the same thing.
And my husband can help.
I did the same thing. I took stats.
But my husband, at the last minute, had to go to San Diego for 4 of those 6 weeks. I wanted to throat punch him. This is like in the early 2000s.
He maths well, right?
Him, his sister, they're both math geniuses. She teaches math. Yeah, it's like...
It's a language, but in numbers.
And this was like before FaceTime and stuff like that. So we tried to do it over the phone, and I was just like, all right, forget it. You just can't do it because I'm visual. Like I need, like we would have need a whiteboard and like pictures and things.
She's a genius with that. She like gets into the computer, and then you could see her writing things down on it. I don't know how she did magic. She's like a bruja.
Which is why I'm the technical person throwing this podcast together. It's because you work full time. It doesn't matter. But still, yeah.
That'll be another podcast, working full time while eating.
That's a whole episode in itself.
But I'll cry for half the episode.
Right. So what are some of the statistics you found on the CDC?
Okay. So this is in the U.S. alone. Around the world, that's
a whole nother episode about like straight up Asian culture.
But in the U.S. alone,
because there's a lot.
6% of adults below the age of 50 currently have an ADHD diagnosis.
Yeah, and I was diagnosed late.
10.5% of children are diagnosed ADHD. Mm-hmm. You have like 22 million individuals.
Asian Americans or
just in general. Oh. Boys are more prevalent than girls in the ADHD
because
diagnosis.
It's visual. You can just see them. You can,
to 8%.
Because they're more external with it. But
they're more external. Yeah.
My son Will is not external with it. He's got like my kind of level of ADHD and like time blindness and.
Oh, that's totally my son. He's like inattentive type.
But he's not like full of like spinning like a top, but you could tell like his foot's constantly going, little There's things. And like, when he
everything's spinning,
was doing math at the table when we were playing Monopoly at my brother's house, he was doing the math. He was saying the math as fast as he was thinking it, and I was just like
blown away.
I'm out. I got nothing. Like, how is that happening? And my brother looked at him and was like, dude, you have my brain. Like, mind blowing.
Well, a lot of these entrepreneurs are ADHD.
Yeah.
They can rattle off all sorts of numbers. And have it. Shark Tank.
I wouldn't have it any other way being my own boss. I would die a million deaths behind a desk again, but I can do it if I needed to.
Right.
Be an office manager. But anyway, boys
prevail, more diagnosis with the girls. And then if you kind of break it down to race, you got white and black population, 12%, most often diagnosed. You got the Hispanic, American Indian, Alaska Native, they're all at 10%. Native and Pacific Islander, that's 6%. And then you have your Asians at 4%.
Huh.
So, we kind of talked about this before we recorded this episode on why it is, and we both have our own kind of theories on why we're diagnosed this amount. I think, for me, a lot of culturally, you have the symptoms and perhaps they aren't expressed. Maybe culturally we aren't allowed to express ourselves as much.
Not for Asians, no.
Yeah.
No.
I think.
And if you're not conforming to your expectation, you just need to fix yourself. That's what you're told. You're just told
or there's one way or no way.
That's it.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. You got to do it. You got to figure it out.
Like, why can't you get good grades like Jennifer Hope? I'm like, I'm not Jennifer Hope. I have dad.
Oh, right.
I know.
Dad. No,
I have dad.
Like compared to
and
my
her
siblings.
Yeah.
The teachers would be like, can't you be your brother or your sister?
Yeah.
But my brother, he was probably the most squirrel of them all. So, they never compared me.
Not to that one.
But for me, it was just more inattentive and I could not pay attention in class. I could not.
I mean, I would try, but like I just couldn't like if I didn't have an interest in it, like math or history, I'd be like, you lost me a long time ago.
Know. Inattentive.
Yeah. And I'd be talking. Oh my God. And Rhea's typing on her phone, and she's got the sound on there.
I'm just like looking for my info.
I'm like, what are you, 70?
Sorry. So sorry.
You gotta make sure you have the audio to make sure that you're typing.
When we were recording the episode that you erased, I was like drinking my cup of water with the ice was clinking around. I was like, okay, that's probably not a good thing.
I don't know. My sister-in-law eats while they're doing it.
Oh gosh.
But anyway, I think it's a lot has to do with Asian culture and what they know as parents and what
they expect as parents.
So they're like, well, even if they suspect something's wrong, they're not gonna be like, hey, let's go get this checked out. Right. You know, maybe nowadays. This number may be going up because I think we're a more mentally healthy culture now, or mental health conscious now, open to all the there's a ton of therapy now, all kinds of therapy. So, but back in our day, it was like no, and it was a stigma even for Caucasian. Yeah, it was a stigma to go to a therapist.
Yeah. And I don't think they had the services provided nowadays.
No.
Back then it was just, let's
Adderall. Oh, well, for tutoring. But if you were diagnosed, even back then, it was just straight up to the meds.
Mm-hmm. Even just acknowledging that the kid has
something.
ADHD, I think a lot of there was a shame. There's
a shame that they're not
like, oh no, my kid's fine.
100%. Yeah.
Yeah, he's just,
And I feel like that's the same in the Asian countries. Because when I looked it up, I couldn't find anything that specifically says that that culture like has less ADHD or they don't have it or like some kind of genetic thing.
Right.
It was more on the lines of not diagnosed. And then the information here is only diagnosed. And then the only people that are only diagnosed is only 6% because of this cultural mentality of.
Yeah. And being that, I think because also with the first generation, you have the parents that may not be able to communicate what's going on with your kid.
Oh yeah, there's that. If they're first generation,
because they can't be able to express that maybe in words, but perhaps actions.
I always used to think because like one of my aunties, my great aunties was like, she was a medium, and I was like, maybe it's something like that. It just hasn't kicked in for me. Maybe like whatever those disturbances or something like that. But
it's a disturbance in the
not
force.
So much. It's the disturbance in the brainage there.
Well, I think because you were diagnosed later in life, what do you think now? As far as getting the services that you got today.
I think I was diagnosed and I saw, so like when I turned 50 and a little bit before that, I was on a mission to like, all right, I have a couple issues with my health and like, let's just get it done. Let's just, so that was one of them is like, let's just see if I really do have this. And then I was sent to, and I thought that my doctor was going to she did. She was intentions of sending me to therapy, but I thought it would be talk therapy. So now I have TRICARE, military health coverage. And so because it was already in my records that I had talk therapy, they don't go deep and see why or what it was for. Oh, okay. So just because it was like the first, like one level of it, they automatically sent me to Brain Health Hawaii.
Oh,
for that TMS therapy, like to go treat the root of the cause uninvasively. And I was like, whoa, all right, this is good because I'm on a mission and this will get it done quick. And I'm like dedicated to fixing myself. So that was like a 3-month thing, Monday through Friday, every day at the same time, 15, 20 minutes. And they said, you know, you have like 1,000 windows open. And I was like, yeah. And then but once you're diagnosed, whether you're diagnosed early or late, some people like myself, I was glad and I was relieved, and I actually like cried a little bit because I was like, oh my God, like this is something I can like work on. Like it's an actual diagnosis, and like now I can be like more mindful and more like receptive to like research and, you know, all the things. So
the service is there.
It's there now. Had I been diagnosed earlier, they would have just given me meds.
Yeah. I think TMS is a great.
They would have given me meds, even if it was talk therapy. I mean, but still, the TMS was really good. I'm just waiting for this hormonal thing to pass so I can be normal again mentally. Yeah.
I'm trying to find the right supplementation for just the scatterbrain and being so tired and.
Yeah. And just to reiterate, we are not professional doctors or anything. Right. We're just coming from our own experience and research.
I'm not even in mental health nursing.
I know, right?
I work in perioperative care.
Yeah.
But what does help me a lot though is making sure that I have adequate sleep and my B vitamins and.
I even take a supplement acids. For my, what's that nerve?
Trigeminal?
Down, up and down. Vagus nerve?
Vagus nerve?
Vagus nerve, yeah.
What do you take for that?
It's a tincture. I'll show you later.
Oh, okay. That'll be later. But I think growing up as an Asian American back in it was hard, and it was something that we look back upon and realize it wasn't our fault. No, and there were times in the learning process.
Or our parents' fault. Right. Or anything. There was just nothing
they had
out
enough,
there.
They were patient enough, but they were also frustrated. And I felt like I disappointed them.
All the time.
Yeah. And, realizing that later on in life, it wasn't really, it's not like we did it on purpose.
Right. And they know it.
Yeah, and we know it.
They know
you know what I know.
Yeah.
And, I can forgive myself for that because it really wasn't.
See, that's another thing for like having the label.
Yeah.
A diagnose is like you can let go of a lot of emotional emotions that are attached to this.
Self-forgiveness.
Yeah.
And that's, I think the worst of it though, being that when you have kids on your own, you're not really diagnosed, and you sort of, and they're kind of the squirrel. It makes it a little hard because it's like you have just repeated the pattern, toward your kid because you have these expectations that they should be learning.
Right.
Right. So I think self-forgiveness in that sense as well as a parent.
Yeah. And then as a parent, then to also like if you recognize any of the symptoms in your own kids, you have more empathy.
Yeah, I do.
And more patience and more, and we have more resources.
And
like my kids have been
a perfect mom. I'm an ADHD
therapy from after COVID, and yeah. So I think that's good. Yeah. To be late diagnosed was just good timing, only because of what's available right now.
Yeah, I think so. I think more and more we're just kind of opening that up and seeing what we can do, alternatives, because we don't learn the same way your standard school will teach you.
And who knows? I might have benefited from some of that wacky math.
Wacky math is great. Any way of learning, like for me,
a different way of learning math, like
yeah.
But, I don't think it's fair for, like, atypical kids to have to learn all the ways if they get it the first time. You shouldn't be shoving it down. Everybody knowledge ramps,
it's all
like,
when, And it kind of sucks because it's like you do have means of solving a problem.
Yeah. And it's a tool. It's like it should be like more like a one-on-one tool.
I think so.
Because the kids that get it, they don't need to sit there for a repeat lesson with like this. I mean,
how to get to that.
I'm assuming, because I don't even know what it's like in the classroom with this new math, but like I know that Will came home with it. Like James would come home with it, and he's like, I don't know why we're learning it this way. Like I like it that way. I'm like, well, you do it. You know. It's just options, so you do it.
Even with my ADHD mind, I hate that. I can't do that. I can't do their math.
I can't even form a sentence when there's math involved. No.
But even learning like other things, like when I was in
language and writing. They try to teach you Korean speaking and the writing at the same time. I'm like, you guys insane? That's not even the natural way of learning a language.
God,
right? Like you learn how to speak it first,
right?
With identification, and then you learn how to write it after. I'm like, you're asking way too much, people. So I still only know baby words.
Oh, same
and
here.
then we
I
use the crap out of Google Translate with my mom's family. Yeah, but it's fun. I mean, I don't know.
I learned a lot of Ilocano in the hospital.
Yeah.
Older Ilocano ladies.
But that's natural. Like you're learning the language while you're working in a real life situation with the real words, right? Like, and they're not teaching. Well, I mean, I don't know. It's not kanji, is it?
No.
You guys, Philippines, they don't have kanji, or is it more like a?
That's like an older. What do you call those words?
And you guys have like some Spanish mixed in with that because of when they took over. Even Guam, when we lived there for 2 years, had like a mix of that.
But the native, I guess, with Tagalog. There's so many different languages in the Philippines, so it's like you learn. They're not even dialects; they're like languages completely different from each other. It's amazing.
That's crazy.
Yeah. So it's like. Our family has.
They should really study like the Filipino brain because of that, and then they know they're all nurses.
We're all nurses.
And then there's this whole this whole karaoke culture.
Hey, that's the best thing
letting your hair hang down.
It gets the creative juices going.
Right. It's a nice balance. It's a nice cultural balance.
It is.
Is there anything else that the CDC says about
Asian being less diagnosed?
Yeah.
Well, they talk about. Okay, I'm just rattling this off too. Okay, so we got the stigma down. We got the limited services. We got presentation of symptoms. So they may manifest differently. I think. A lot of times they may mask ADHD or somehow, even though they're processing differently.
I had to be a master of masking and then mimic and simulation kind of thing and I had to shove all my questions down.
Oh, really?
Because my mom wouldn't have any answers. And I mean, and then I didn't feel like, even though I was a daddy's girl and we were close and we were always kind of ganging up on my mom a little bit, or she'd look at it that way, but he'd be trying to explain culture. But I wouldn't want, I don't know. In my brain, I'm like, I don't know, Dad doesn't know what it's like to be a teenage girl with this problem. I don't know. And it was like a social problem, but I was just focusing it on being a girl with that problem. I don't know. So I had to really shove a lot of shit down.
And not really. I think at that age we don't really like divulging anything to our parents.
But it was not, my release though was to be able to be free with my handful of close friends that I did have. And there was no judgment. It was just fun silliness all the time. We would make up skits, we'd make up stories and families, we'd have voices for all the cats in the neighborhood.
You kind of magnetize yourself to people that are very similar.
Yeah, Nicole might have been squirrely.
Yeah. Oh, my group is squirrely. I love my group of friends.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure 1, 2, 3 of them are very squirrely. Although the one squirrel has like a master's degree and could be a principal. I'm like, it just depends. You just gotta learn what your level of tolerance is for stuff and like what you can juggle and what you're interested in. I mean, it doesn't mean like you can't be interested in law and be a squirrel. You can, as long as that interests you, because that will drive you to be successful.
Exactly.
But for me, I had always spent hours at my grandmother's table at like, even at 5 years old, like drawing for hours over the weekend or the summers when my mom went to visit for Korea and stuff like that.
That was your thing.
Yeah. So it was always my thing. It was always like my own personal therapy, calm the squirrels down. And it, that was always a thing.
It was my therapy.
And that's tricky because you got to learn how to read music and then play the thing.
You know, it's funny. Like,
but I wonder,
people learn. I mean, there's two ways of learning. You know, you have your formal way of learning. You have your
wondering
sheet music, and then you have like you listen to it.
Yes.
And then you
just regurgitate. That's what I'm because when I was looking up some ADHD celebrities, right? Like there's a ton, if not half, if not more, of musicians that just play like that. They don't read the music. They just feel it and hear it and just go. And I'm like, that is beautiful.
That is, because
right?
And I've always
and now there's like software that could just write it while you're playing it, right? Like, I don't know.
I feel like there's like a different part of your brain that you're using when you're creating.
Right? Yeah.
It's different.
Yeah, so like there's what? Oh wait, I think we're good.
Yeah, I think we got pretty much. Well, we covered mostly everything.
Yeah.
I mean, then you have your financial constraints, but
you
know that's
for any culture, any race.
But
yeah, societal expectation, cultural stigmas, lack of cultural competent medical health professionals, and language barrier. But there's more resources now for all of those levels of
we've
families.
Gone through most of our life living
we survived it.
Yeah, honestly, I mean, it's something that we should be really proud of.
It's every day. I mean, shoot, even though I had that therapy, it's still happening. Like I deleted that. It's like, God damn it.
Total squirrel move.
I'm like texting you, don't kill me.
Okay.
I just deleted that.
But this
episode.
is the last.
This is it. Yes, I promise. Promise. And then that's why we didn't release last Friday.
Yeah. Anyway, we're gonna close this off with.
Wait! I wanted to ask you. So in the Philippines, whether there are two versions when you. Do you know how to say goodbye in Filipino? And then with their accent here in culture, do they say something else here for goodbye? Like in Korean, they have like the Korean word. And then here, like in their American Korean accent, they'll say, see you. Like just like literally
like bye, yeah.
Okay, just like on Kim's Convenience, they say see you. Like even my mom when she goes to hang out, she's like, "All right, see you."
Oh yeah, I think so. I mean that's. Pretty
but
much
do you got? But do they? I mean, what do they say?
I don't know what I'm gonna have to ask my mom because usually she's going out now. She's googling. Let's Google this. I never really thought about it because they. Let's see now. You hear my clicking?
So like in Korean, they would say 안녕하세요. But like in American, a lot of American or Korean Americans will say, see you.
Yeah, it would be same thing. But it would be, this one says, agbakadaakon. Kasta pa. But I would never.
You never noticed.
I never noticed because it would be like okay, bye.
Filipino American people say.
Well, my mom when she would talk in Ilocano, it would be like okay, bye.
Okay, bye.
Okay, bye.
Okay, bye. So that.
Oh, sige, bye.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, then that would be.
So they do both. Your mom does both.
Yeah, but
she
it
says
could just be
the Filipino word and then bye.
Yeah.
She doubled down on her goodbyes.
And I'm sure when she goes back to the Philippines, I'm sure her accent is
My
like
mom
completely
forgets
different.
some words. Does your mom forget some words because she doesn't use it every day?
In Ilocano, she's pretty good. In Tagalog, so my mom's like trilingual. She's
well, because she's a teacher.
But she, because she grew up in different places, going to school in different places. But
even in Europe, it's not like it's normal to know
it's to know German or Spanish. I know.
What is wrong with America? That and our food. Jeez Louise. Come on now. We're ready. We're ready for maybe the next term. Well, all right, we're not going there.
We're not going there.
All right, so see you.
Yeah, we'll save our acorns for next time, okay?
What do I have for an acorn? Double check when you're editing your videos.
Don't erase your videos.
Be more patient. I don't know.
I don't have any acorns right now.
No, not for the day.
Time, but
okay,
thank you for listening.
And subscribe and follow.
And if you have questions, you can always write us at
bootspod808@gmail.com. Please let us know what you would like us to talk about. If you have comments about what we have talked about already, any stories to share, we will read them on the next, on an episode, all that good stuff. And then if you're interested in on island here, I was accepted to participate in the Haleiwa Arts Festival this month on June 21st to the 22nd, and I'm painting at the Bellows Air Force Base painting at the Cove on their lanai on the last Sunday of the month, and I will be working with Tammy Bruce soon, within the next couple of weeks, to start recording a second podcast called Mai Tai Monet, and it's drunk art history, which will be very interesting to record because she lives in Panama City and I live here, so one of us is day drinking when we're doing it, and the other is like mid-afternoon drinking or night drinking. It'll be funny. We'll figure it out. Nice, fun-filled weekend. I will just be cleaning out my closet and washing my dogs and washing my car. Right. Yeah. All right. Till next time, everyone. Bye. See you.